বিৰতিৰ পিছত আমি পুনৰ উভতি আহিছোঁ আমাৰ অনুষ্ঠানৰ মাজলৈ। আজি আমাৰ লগত উপস্থিত আছে কেইগৰাকীমান বিশেষ ব্যক্তি। সেই ব্যক্তি কেইগৰাকীৰ মুখেৰে শুনক তেওঁলোকেনো সেই জগতখনত কিদৰে কাম কৰিছে।
So coming to Bharat Dabholkar sir, sir, what took you to brand the utterly butterly Amul?
Well, what took me is, see, I'm a lawyer by education.
Yes, of course.
And I didn't want to get into advertising. I wanted to be an IPS officer. So I did law because I wanted to be an IPS officer. And then I got into advertising. And the agency that was handling the Amul Butter advertising is the agency I joined.
Okay.
And so I started working on that brand.
Okay.
And I think the brand existed earlier. The Amul Butter girl existed earlier. The slogan Utterly Butterly existed.
Okay.
I hadn't written that. I think the only contribution that I made was when I took and I started writing on that, it was very English.
Okay.
Because all the slogans, all the jokes were very English at that time.
Okay. Yeah, that time.
And then
there
I think
was
my
a
only contribution
English.
was that I Indianized it a bit. I made that girl dress up in different clothes. I did Marathi, Hindi, or
Yeah.
Marathi Hindi mix, or Gujarati, or
No, but you still
Tamil.
didn't answer why you left being a
I didn't
policeman
become a policeman.
and became an advertising man. Was it also for similar reasons like mine?
No, in fact, there were better legs in the police control room.
No.
than there were in advertising.
Don't give me that.
So then that's how I started working on that. And
Okay.
then I started writing that. And
Okay. Why has it become so Indianized? You know, before we would see ads in English more, and now it has become like Hindi or the vernacular language that we can see, you know, in ads. So
See,
why is that?
I'll tell you, advertising is about selling. See, advertising is not fine art.
Yeah.
It's not about saying that I like to write this, or I like to draw this, or I like to say this, so I would say it. That's fine art. It's not saying that it's my expression, so I could do what I want.
Okay.
Advertising is a part of marketing. You're going to sell something to somebody.
Yeah.
And the best way you can sell anything to anybody is if you can create what we call in advertising an empathy, where that person feels that this person is talking to me. He's talking my language, he's understanding my problems, he's giving me my solutions. So it's very important that advertising talks in the language that the consumer understands. It's not about or dreams in. So it
Actually, the big shift was from print to TV.
Yeah.
The big shift in number of televisions in India was after Asiad.
Right.
So you had most of the advertising being created out of Bombay for English readers, but the moment it shifted to TV, you had to speak in the language of the masses. That's
Right.
when the whole shift happened.
Right. And Kiran Kalav sir, so you are associated with the entire Jigsaw, you know, company. What is it all about? Would you tell our viewers?
I think
See, Jigsaw,
Bharat
I'll tell you one thing.
was going to speak
I travel around the world.
Yeah.
I have an agency in Tanzania. And one thing we realized is that most developed or even markets that haven't developed so much, one thing that people have started now realizing is that advertising is not saying, let's put up a hoarding here, let's give me a design for a hoarding,
Right.
or give me a press ad.
It has changed beyond that.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So the whole thing about advertising is, do you have a picture in your mind which is how is your brand or where is your brand going to be 10 years from now or 25 years from now? And once you have that picture, then you start doing whatever you do, the first step that you take, the first TV commercial you make, the first press ad you make, the first, so it all has to fit into that picture. So finally, even the name Jigsaw came out of that. That jigsaw puzzle is something where you see a full picture first.
Right.
And
we
then you say,
put the
this
puzzles.
piece will be incomplete here, but once I put everything together,
It's all
it'll complete that picture. And I think advertising or marketing has to now work like this. So people have to think beyond one hoarding
ad.
design,
No.
beyond one product, beyond one slogan.
Before, people used to treat advertising like selling a commodity.
Right.
So which was like a category like rice or wheat or
Right.
biscuits or whatever.
Right.
But over a period of time, we've realized, especially the smaller traders and the SMEs, which is the small scale industries, they've realized that if they're going to survive in a competitive world today,
Right.
that if they don't build brands for themselves, then they're not going to survive.
Not going to
Because every time the market fluctuates,
Yeah.
they can buy from anybody because there's no particular loyalty to a particular brand
And
that
there
you
is
have.
no,
Right,
what we used to earlier have, what we used to call in advertising very famously was a USP,
USP.
which
yeah.
meant it's a unique selling
Selling
purpose,
purpose.
which only my brand has, nobody else has that.
Yeah.
Today, with technology being available to everybody, there is no USP.
products
So all products are the same. They have similar packaging. They have similar properties. They're sold in the same way. They're sold in the same shops. They're sold at the same price.
Right.
So unless somebody has sat down and thought of how can I make my product different in the
Innovative.
consumer's mind,
How I can build a personality into my brand.
how can I give a personality to
Every
my brand?
Right.
brand has to have a person inside it.
Yeah, you really talk about it.
Yes.
What is all about? What is that all about? Like a brand having a living, thing
Persona.
inside. Yeah, persona.
So that you can evolve them. You see, like human beings, they evolve. It's not that they're stuck in perpetuity
Right.
as
They
one.
grow.
They grow, they
Yeah.
mature, they fall in love, they feel disappointed, they succeed, they fail.
Right.
All the facets of a human value
Right.
are then imbibed in a brand on a long-term basis, which is why you keep evolving the brand. So that the brand is not stuck
Not
where you launch it. The brand evolves with your market
Yeah.
because your consumers change. So as your consumers keep changing, so can the brand if you give it a human possibility.
Right.
The moment you give it a human possibility, then it can respond.
And I think as Kiran would tell you, I think what has happened is selling a brand, making these differentiations that we're talking about. Like, why do people drink a Coke versus a Pepsi? Because they're both aerated
brand
water.
is
They're the same,
You
yeah.
can't, in a blind
Yeah.
test world over, people can't tell Coke from Pepsi.
Yeah.
But
They
because
They
they've been
can't
given
tell- They can't tell Coke from Sprite. 60% of the people in blind tests can't tell Coke from
Right.
Sprite. This is a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then why do people come and say, why does Coke spend millions of dollars world over? Because they are trying to give it a person. If I'm seen drinking Pepsi, that means I'm a young,
kind of
dynamic
Young kind
person.
of
If
a
I'm,
person.
that's what. And now what has happened is, selling a brand has gone beyond advertising, as he would tell you. That it has now gone beyond just saying that I'm doing an advertising campaign. It has to go beyond that.
Beyond that.
It's become more interactive. You are now talking to consumers.
Right.
Like when we say 1982 for Asia had happened and therefore we came from print era to TV era.
TV.
1984 is when intranet became commercial in the US.
Right.
And now that internet has happened here, we have an internet in India is being led by the mobile phone rather than the PC. It is, I think the mobile phone is growing at 10 times the speed of the PC. The fundamental shift is not only do we have to evolve with the customers now are part of the brand.
Okay.
It's startling. There is, I'm sure you have heard of a brand called Gap.
Yeah.
It's a US
Yeah,
brand. When
yeah.
Generation Gap, therefore Gap.
Yes.
They created a new logo which had to be changed back to the original one inside 1 week.
Why so?
The customer said, I'm sorry, I don't like this logo.
Oh,
And that's not my gap.
Same thing happened to Coke.
There's not, I don't, this is,
Yes.
I'm not going to buy. There is a brand called Tropicana which changed its packaging, millions of dollars changed into. They said, I'm sorry, please go back to the original one in 3 months. We all say, oh, Facebook is for young girls and boys to meet and this and that. But on January 30th, or January 30th, 31st, I don't remember, 2011,
right.
you had the chairman of Unilever come on to Facebook and say, guys, I'm very sorry, from now on, we will never ever test Lipton tea on animals. Because there was a huge group which has been formed which said, we are not buying Lipton tea till you stop this. So now who owns Lipton tea? Does Unilever own Lipton tea or the customer owns it?
Customer, definitely.
So there's this huge, in fact, the entire thing that what we are going to talk about tomorrow is about these kind of complexities.
Right.
When he's talking about commodity versus brand. Now, how do you manage that in this kind of a situation?
Right.
Actually, this has happened other markets which are, like as I said, in Mumbai we see this, or other places we see this happening. We never thought that in Assam there would be an awareness of a thing like this. In fact, when I came to Assam, I came for an advertising function. And I thought Assam has a lot of big advertisers, but I didn't know anybody would want to get into this aspect of marketing.
Right.
And then I met this gentleman at Prodigy. And they said that, no, we are seriously looking at this because I think clients need this. And is there any way we can set up a company that gives this thing kind of a strategy to a client
Right.
of how he can promote his brands over a long period of time, not just for 1 year, not just giving them hoardings and
Right.
press ads.
That would
And
be
that's
my
how the
next
whole thing.
question.
No, the thing is that you'll be amazed that in a place like Assam,
Assam.
consumers are changing much faster than clients are.
Exactly.
Clients are still moribund.
Right.
They don't think that the consumer actually is ready for this kind of leap into the future.
Right.
But the fact is that the consumer is demanding it every single day.
Okay, that would be my next question. Assam is considered the priority 4 market, you know, as we say. But as and whenever we switch on the TV, we have a lot of ads, and even the newspaper is flooded with ads. Is it that you know, we are transforming into a P4, P3 market, or we are going like there is a lot of budget which is
No, I think
being
what has happened is, as he said, with the television explosion
right.
and with internet, it has steamrolled all markets into one homogeneous thing. There's nothing like this market does not get this. Every market gets everything now.
Right.
A girl or a boy sitting in Assam gets to be on the internet and watch what's happening in the US. A girl in Assam gets to see what programs are being seen in Mumbai or Delhi or Calcutta.
So there is no
If you look
concept
at-
like
So it has
P4,
taken-
P3
No,
market.
there might
nothing.
be.
There might be in a way of.
I'll tell you where the markets are subdivided. It depends on the buying power.
Right.
But I personally think, looking around Assam today, I'm driving around Guwahati, I don't find it any different from any of the suburbs in Bombay. In terms of the brand that you're seeing, in terms of the shops that you're seeing, in terms of the way the people are dressed,
Right.
and the way the people are walking around. I mean, it could be Matunga, for all I care.
Right.
No, there are many changes. See, that's facilitating. Why? You can classify P1, P4, but if you Google today and say northeast markets, everything you see is luxury brands want to come here. So and so want to come here. That is one part of it, because they are looking at markets which are easier to tap, where there is not too much of competition. So that's one part of it. So
Right.
you will see a flood of brands coming in,
Okay.
which means the local brands need to be very, very clear how they are going to survive,
Right.
which is why they need to understand this entire business.
Okay.
Two, think of something like e-commerce. All your e-commerce sites, whether it's Flipkart or Network 18, all those sites there, 90% of their demand comes from smaller towns.
Smaller towns, because they can't.
They can't
avail
buy those things there.
here. Yeah.
And once that happens, then they are pushing for saying, okay, I can buy it on the net, but I also need to see a shop. So the shops are going to land up here.
It's not so much clients or manufacturers or producers wanting to do something. It's the consumers making them.
Absolutely.
They're forcing them to do it because they want it. They're seeing it everywhere else. Their demands are going up. You know?
All commercial activity is driven by money.
Right.
And if you see state by state, region by region, it develops faster than you think it is going to,
Right.
depending on how much money is coming into the place.
Right.
So today government policy changes for agriculture and starts favoring them. There's more money in rural areas than there is in cities.
Right.
So automatically people like Levers and all these big companies are looking at rural markets as the next point of growth, because the level of growth at rural markets is much more than the cities.
You know, in Maharashtra, there's a small town called Kolhapur,
Okay.
which is famous for its Kolhapuri chappals. Kolhapur, in one day, bought 100 Mercedes cars in Kolhapur. And I think 6 months later, on one day, there were 100 BMWs that were bought in Kolhapur, which don't get bought in Mumbai. And that became there's that kind of money in smaller towns, which people hadn't realized. When you try and advertise for a publication, you realize that the readers, we don't realize how much money there is in small towns,
Right.
which is just waiting to be tapped.
A lot of MNCs are coming about.
Everybody, they've
coming
all
in,
realized
and
this.
A lot of big brands and stuff.
Luxury
like that.
brands.
Luxury
Top end
brands.
brands.
Yeah.
All top
They are all
brands.
coming
when you
to
drive down here the main street,
northeast.
you see the same brands that one would see, as you are saying, on the main street of Colaba in Mumbai.
So how do you see Assam market as? What's the future? Do
As
you
we see
expect
booming.
more?
It's booming.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, the juncture where what we are trying to do when we say we'll set up a company that would strategize for clients,
Right.
that would go beyond just giving them advertising, that this is the right time, because 5 years from now it will be too late, because there will be other players coming into the market who would have worked out their strategies, and you will be left behind if you haven't
But
done
there
this.
It is different. Whatever you say, because of the language, because of the fact that English is the main language rather than Hindi or whatever.
Yeah.
There are many things about this culture which the rest of India